as I focused, trying with all my might to force that hunk of rock down on her. There was a sudden whirl of rainbow light, as in a flash that tiny little bird had taken advantage of my attention being on Rebecca and my little boulder trap. It flew right between my legs, then up and over my shoulder back the other direction. That thing was so damn fast. Before I even had time to think or move, the rainbow was already wrapped around me. There was a sudden jerk, and just like that, I went flying, spinning off in an awkward and crazy way, head over heels in every direction that I could think of. I don't even know what direction I was flying. I finally hit the ground. Unfortunately, it was head first, as my helmet dug into the ground. I managed to pull my head out of the ground just fast enough to dodge the next dart from that little bird. It was no longer staying at a distance like it was before. Suddenly, it was right on top of me, sweeping back and forth as fast as it could, those rainbow strips lashing out the moment it passed, smashing me back and forth. Damn it, that freaking bird, I thought to myself. Okay, I don't have time to deal with this. If I can catch it, then it won't be a problem anymore. If I can just keep my grasp on it. It's small. I should be able to overpower it, hold it, and then hopefully these rainbow strips won't be a problem anymore. I looked back over to Rebecca. She was starting to push the boulder back. With my concentration divided, I wasn't able to focus on keeping it down, so it was going back up, and ever so slightly beginning to move away from her. The force of the jets and even my telekinetic push down on it, it all lightened if I didn't keep my focus up. I tried it as best as I could to put whatever focus I could on it, keep her from pushing it back, but the damn bird just kept coming, darting in and out like a bullet. Come on, focus, I thought to myself, trying to read its movements. All I have to do is catch this bird, and the fight's over. I'll win, I thought, as the bird took another dash at me, swooping right past my helmet. I narrowly evaded. As it came back around, I had a laser focus on it. Come on, you can do this, I told myself, diverting my attention away from the boulder long enough to try to snag this bird, end this never-ending run from the rainbow. It swooped in for another attack. I narrowly dodged as it started to fly by my midsection, but I was fast enough, but only just, reaching out my arm, getting ahead of its movement. At the speed it was traveling, it basically flew right into my hand, and I clutched at it, snagging the little bird. Yes, I thought to myself, this battle just ended. Or, at least, that's what I thought, as a tiny little cracking sound came from the palm of my hand where I held the bird. Oh no, it was hard to feel anything inside of the armor. Delicate sensation was not an easy thing in a suit of armor. As I opened up my hand, feeling that the movement inside it had stopped, I looked down, seeing a small rainbow bird, crushed and unmoving in the palm of my hand. For a moment, I just felt bad. I didn't want to hurt it. I just wanted to catch it. But then, I began to see those rainbow colors start to flare up, glowing brighter, emanating from that motionless little bird. And suddenly I recalled Rebecca's description of it. It's a phoenix. If you kill it, it just comes back in a rainbow burst of energy. And before I could even act on my thought, there was an explosion of force out of the palm of my hand that sent me whirling back. A somewhat intense shockwave pulsed out as rainbow light flew out in every direction. I managed to catch myself, my feet grinding back through the dirt as what seemed like wind poured out from an ever-increasing bright rainbow light. And there at the center of it, I began to see a form beginning to take shape. Looking down at my hand, I could still see smoke rising off of the armor, scorch marks across its surface from the burst of energy. Damn it, this is not good, I thought. The last thing I need is to deal with another one of them. She said its form and its powers change every time it reincarnates itself, taking a new shape. What the hell was gonna come out this time? As the form began to take shape, it grew larger, much larger than the tiny little canary. I saw rainbow wings unfurl from a bright central light, beginning to flap, sending out bursts of wind. Through the armor, I could feel what felt like heat inside of that rainbow wind, like it was fire. But then again, she did say it's a phoenix. I suppose the fire is just different. And there in the center of that light seemed to be some type of eagle, or maybe a hawk, I don't know. It had about a 6-foot wingspan, a razor-sharp beak, and tiny little rainbow eyes that glared out at me. Nowhere near as friendly as that little canary appeared. This was much more imposing in appearance. It was at that point I heard a massive screech echo out from this very intimidating looking bird glowing with rainbow light. It was ear-shattering, and where I expected to just hear a loud noise, there seemed to be some type of shockwave. The craziest shockwave I'd ever seen, like a pulse that flowed through the air with tiny little ripples of rainbow inside of it, like the energy of a rainbow carried in sound. It moved so fast I couldn't evade it all, not at the distance I was standing. It hit me full force, sending me flying back. And once again, even with the armor on, that hurt like hell, I thought, but only briefly. It wasn't long before I hit the ground, and a sizable explosion, a burst of energy and wind, crushing me into a small crater that I was having a difficult time crawling out of as I started to get hold of my senses again, the deafening sound of that screech still ringing in my head. As I got up, I noticed Rebecca starting to push the boulder further away. I had to keep it up. There was no time to be lax. I added more force, began trying to push the boulder back down again. It was at that point that I had noticed that the rainbow strips had gone away, vanishing into a flutter of rainbow sparkles in the air, dissipating away to nothing. And it looked like Rebecca was having a harder time holding up that boulder without the strips. Okay, so at least something good came out of it. Those rainbow strips aren't there to help her push it away anymore, so she's having a harder time of it. But, I thought to myself, as I began to look around searching, and sure enough, there it was, beginning to circle around in the air. It wasn't as fast as it was before, but it was still damn quick. It still left a rainbow streak behind it, but a very short one that seemed to fade away moments after its passing. Suddenly, I noticed the bird roll over, the bottom of its body facing in my direction, as it let out another one of those screeches, and yet again a pulse, a sound wave of rainbow energy emanated from it, pulsing out in my direction. This time the distance was great enough. I managed to jump out of the way as an explosion of wind radiated out from the crater that I jumped out of. Damn it. Just trading one problem out for another at this point. Now, how the hell do I deal with this?